All right. Hey, everybody, and welcome back. We're diving deep today into, well, how to be happy single.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, and we are going to be looking at a YouTube video by Tam Kaur.
Okay.
It's called, the title's kind of long. It's called How to Actually Be Happy Single, Detach, Love Yourself, Decenter Men, and Enjoy Being Alone.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like it.
So whether you are happily single and are just kind of curious about this, or you're really looking for some kind of perspective shift on being single, Kaur's own journey from seeking validation from other people to really embracing self-love, I think is something that a lot of people can relate to. And she might have some answers in this video.
I think so too. And, she really gets at the point that there's not a one-size-fits-all for this happiness thing.
Yeah.
Especially, when it comes to being single. And so she starts by really having you dive deep into why.
Yeah.
Why are you unhappy being single?
That seems so simple, but I bet a lot of us haven't really sat down and thought about the specific reasons why we might be unhappy. It's like she's saying, hold on. Let's diagnose the problem before we jump into solutions.
Exactly. Yeah, getting to that root cause.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the root cause is loneliness, for example, she suggests that you actually should focus on building strong friendships and a supportive community, even before thinking about romantic connection.
So it's like laying that foundation before you even start thinking about building the house.
Absolutely, yeah. And having those connections, feeling connected and fulfilled, like in this broader sense.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So Kaur talks about this idea of dating yourself. And I don't just mean like treating yourself to a spa day or something.
Right.
She literally means like taking yourself out on dates, going to concerts and restaurants, like by yourself.
Yes, and it might sound a little strange at first, but, you can think of it as mindful solitude.
Right.
And so this idea of dating yourself is a really powerful way to break free from societal expectations and to discover what actually brings you joy, independent of a partner. So it's about being comfortable with your own company, being present in the moment, and getting to know yourself on like a deeper level.
Yeah, and she had this great quote in the video that I really liked. She said, "The goal here is to become your own best friend."
Oh, I love that.
Which I think can sound kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of wisdom in that.
I think so too. I think it speaks to the power of, self-acceptance and self-love. And she also talks about like these solo dates aren't just aimless wandering, like you're setting an intention with these dates.
You're turning those solo experiences into like these opportunities for self-discovery.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not just about going and grabbing a coffee by yourself. It's like, okay, I'm going to go to this new cafe, and my intention is to just sit and people watch. And maybe that'll spark my creativity.
Exactly, yeah. Being really proactive and intentional about this time.
Now, let's face it. I think there are times when relationship envy can totally creep in.
Oh, for sure.
Especially, I think, now that everyone's on social media and it seems like everyone's coupled up, living their best life. It's so easy to fall into that comparison trap.
Oh, it's so easy. And that's something that she tackles head on. And she reminds us that, social media, a lot of times, it's just that curated highlight reel.
Right.
It's not the full picture.
Yeah.
So, don't believe everything you see online. And even, not even online, in real life, too. I mean, everyone is on a different timeline.
Oh, yeah.
So instead of letting that envy consume you, she actually suggests using that fuel, that envy, to define what you truly want in a partner.
Okay, so it's like turning that envy into inspiration. Like, okay, I love how supportive that couple is of each other's dreams.
Yeah.
That's something I definitely want in my future relationship.
Exactly. Yeah, channeling those feelings into something productive.
Yeah. Now, she also has a really interesting perspective on being single in and of itself. She says that singlehood is a gift. Value it because we never know when we're going to have to give that gift away.
Whoa.
Deep, right?
Yeah, that's deep.
It's like she's really challenging that pressure, that societal pressure that says you're incomplete if you're not in a relationship.
For sure.
It's about embracing singlehood as valid and fulfilling. Like, it's not just a waiting room until you find a relationship.
Exactly. And her point is that there's so many unique experiences and opportunities that are available to us while we're single.
Yeah.
That we might not have once we're in a committed relationship.
Gotcha.
So it's about appreciating the freedom and flexibility that you have during this time.
Okay, so how do we actually live this way? She talks about detachment and letting go, which I have to admit sound a bit intimidating.
Yeah, they're big concepts.
Yeah.
But she breaks it down so beautifully. And so think about it like detaching from outcomes.
Okay.
So, let's say you meet someone, instead of obsessing about whether or not they're going to ask you out or not,
Right, right.
you just enjoy that interaction for what it is.
So basically enjoying the present moment without getting all caught up in what might or might not happen. It's
Exactly.
like, okay, that was a nice conversation. What happens next is not really up to me, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And this also goes back to letting go of past hurts and baggage,
Yes.
which I think a lot of us carry around.
For sure, yeah.
And she talks about how that can really prevent us from forming healthy connections.
It can.
It's like dragging a suitcase around from relationship to relationship, and it's weighing you down. It's preventing you from really moving forward.
Yes. And she's saying you got to unpack that baggage.
Yeah.
Deal with those emotions and consciously choose to move forward.
And part of that is recognizing and dismantling unhealthy patterns.
Yes.
Like neediness or codependency, which I think often stem from past experiences.
Yeah.
So it's about really looking at yourself and your behaviors and saying, is this helping me grow or is it holding me back?
Absolutely. And that leads right into the next part, which is setting healthy boundaries.
Okay. So, yeah, what does that look like?
So it's knowing what your limits are,
Mm-hmm.
communicating them clearly, both to yourself and to others.
Right.
And sometimes it means, choosing to walk away from situations that are no longer serving you.
That can be hard.
It can be hard, but it's so empowering.
It is. It's like taking back control and saying, you know what? I deserve to be treated with respect, and I'm not settling for anything less.
Exactly, yeah. Are you ready for a concept that's a little bit more controversial?
Oh, bring it on. I love it.
All right, so Kaur advocates for what she calls decentering men.
Whoa. Okay. That definitely got my attention. What does she mean by that?
She's encouraging us to shift our focus inward,
Okay.
to become what she calls self-centered. And it doesn't mean rejecting men entirely. It's about shifting from seeking external validation to really cultivating inner worth.
So it's like we're flipping the script on that whole finding a man to complete you narrative.
Yes, exactly. It's about finding that validation and fulfillment from within and becoming like the main character in your own life.
Right. Right.
And she argues that when we do that, it actually naturally raises our standards
Okay.
and attracts healthier relationships.
Yeah, because we're no longer coming from that place of lack or desperation.
Right.
We're not looking for someone to fill a void.
Yeah,
We're already whole.
exactly. And, it's like that saying, you teach people how to treat you.
Right.
When you value yourself and you prioritize your own needs,
Mm-hmm.
you attract people who do the same.
Yeah, and she had another great quote in this video where she said, every single decision you make on a daily basis must be based on how it would make you feel.
Powerful.
Yeah, so empowering.
Yeah.
So how does this approach, this like self-centered approach, how does that translate into like everyday life?
So it starts with that consistent self-love and the solo dating that we were talking about.
Okay.
And so it's treating yourself with the same kindness and consideration that you would give to a partner.
So it's like taking yourself out to a nice dinner,
Yes.
buying yourself flowers.
Yeah.
Or even just spending quality time doing something that you love all by yourself.
Absolutely. It's about acknowledging that you are worthy of those gestures of love and affection, even if they're coming from you.
Yeah,
It's making yourself a priority and celebrating the amazing person that you are.
I love that. Now, let's be realistic. Creating new habits and stepping outside of your comfort zone can be really tough.
Yeah.
So how does she address that discomfort that inevitably comes with personal growth?
So she acknowledges that it is going to be a natural part of this process.
Okay.
And she encourages us to lean into it. And so, one of her strategies is to really have that clear mission in mind.
So it's like reminding yourself why you're doing this.
Right.
What are you working towards?
Yes.
Okay.
To help you when things get tough.
Gotcha.
And then, also practicing self-compassion.
Right. Because we're all human.
We're all human. We're going to stumble. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have bad days, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And then finally, she talks about these habit solutions.
What are habit solutions?
Yeah, so habit solutions are basically personalized strategies to deal with uncomfortable feelings.
Okay.
So let's say, you're prone to feeling lonely.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe your habit solution is to call a friend. Maybe it's to go for a walk in nature or get lost in a creative project.
Oh, so it's like instead of letting those feelings kind of take over and spiral, you've got this plan to proactively shift your energy.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
You're taking control of your emotional well-being and, come up with habit solutions for any negative emotion, whether it's boredom, whether it's anxiety,
Gotcha.
insecurity, you name it.
So this is starting to sound like a really practical toolkit for navigating singlehood and embracing it fully.
It is, and it comes back to, self-awareness,
Yeah.
understanding your triggers, understanding your patterns, understanding your needs.
Right.
That's essential for creating that single life that feels truly fulfilling.
Okay, so we talked about a lot already.
We have.
From identifying the root cause of our unhappiness to embracing self-love and this whole idea of decentering men. Is there anything else we should know about her approach before we move on?
Well, one of the most common anxieties around being single is the fear of being alone.
Yeah.
And she challenges that narrative head on.
That's a big one for a lot of people.
It is, and it goes back to that societal pressure again.
Yeah.
Thinking that being single automatically equals loneliness and, that you're incomplete.
Yeah.
And she reminds us that being alone doesn't have to mean being lonely. It can actually be an enriching experience.
She talks about using this time to find yourself and learn yourself.
Yeah.
And she's not just talking about figuring out your favorite ice cream flavor.
Right.
She's talking about delving deeper into your values, your beliefs, passions, and your purpose.
Yes. It's the, inner work that everyone talks about these days.
Right.
And singlehood, provides that perfect opportunity for this.
Because you have the time.
You have the time, you have the space.
Yeah.
Without the distractions that come with a relationship.
So she's saying this self-discovery is actually crucial for healthy relationships.
Absolutely.
Later on. Right.
Yeah. She says, if you don't find yourself, if you don't fully know who you are, then you will lose yourself once you do get into a relationship, and that relationship won't be healthy.
Wow, that's powerful.
It is.
It's like you can't pour from an empty cup.
Right.
You need to fill yourself up first
Yeah.
before you can truly give to another person.
Absolutely. And that's where that self-love comes in.
Okay, so she talks about prioritizing yourself and doing better for your future. What does that look like, practically speaking?
So, practically speaking, making choices that are aligned with your values and your goals, whether they're big or small. So that could be choosing to have a healthy meal versus, fast food, because
Right.
it's going to nourish your body.
Right.
It could be investing in your education. It could be making a career change that's aligned with your passions.
Okay, so it's about treating yourself with the same care and consideration that you would give to someone that you love.
Exactly. And recognizing that you're worthy of that love and care,
Yeah.
even if it comes from yourself.
Right, and it's not selfish to put yourself first.
No,
Right.
not at all. And she actually encourages a healthy dose of selfishness, especially when you're single. She says, right now, all of your time, money, energy, resources are spent on you, so take advantage of that.
I love that. She's giving us permission to just be unapologetically ourselves.
Yes.
And pursue our dreams.
Yeah, embrace that freedom and flexibility that comes with singlehood. Explore new hobbies, travel.
She even encourages shamelessly flirting with everyone just because you can.
Yeah.
Which, who doesn't love little harmless flirtation?
It's a little fun.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and Kaur emphasizes that everyone needs that
Right.
phase of carefree exploration.
But it's not all fun and games.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
She also talks about the importance of being responsible and building a solid foundation for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So she encourages saving money, investing, making sure that you're, financially well, creating that stable foundation for your life.
So it's don't wait for a relationship to get your act together. Do it now.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then when you're living that fulfilling life on your own terms, you're less likely to settle
Yes.
for a relationship that doesn't add anything to what you've already created.
Absolutely.
This brings us back to her point about relationships enhancing our lives rather than completing them,
Yes.
which I think is such an important distinction.
It is, because it's recognizing that you are whole and complete on your own.
Right.
And that a relationship should be a bonus, not a necessity.
And when you come from that place of wholeness, you're more likely to attract a partner who's also whole and secure.
Absolutely. It's about creating that partnership of equals.
Right.
Where each person is contributing from that place of strength and independence.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful vision for a relationship.
Yes.
And it all starts with really embracing singlehood and using this time to cultivate that deep sense of self-love and fulfillment.
It does.
She actually makes the argument that people who are constantly seeking relationships often end up in the worst ones.
Yeah. Think about it.
Why do you think that is?
Well, when you are desperate for a relationship, you might overlook red flags. You might settle for less than what you deserve.
Yeah.
Because you're so focused on just finding someone,
Anyone
to be with, that you don't pay attention to the signs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That this person might not be the right fit.
Gotcha. And that's why she stresses the importance of being content on your own.
Yes.
Before even entering a relationship. Like reaching a point where you're so fulfilled with your life, with your friends, family, career, and personal growth.
Yes.
That a relationship becomes this beautiful addition to an already pretty awesome life, rather than a solution to a problem.
Yes. Perfectly put. You're shifting your mindset from that, I need a relationship to be happy, to I'm happy and a relationship would be a wonderful bonus. And that confidence, that self-assurance, that's attractive.
Totally.
It's magnetic.
Yeah.
And it's something that can only be cultivated through self-love.
Right.
Through self-discovery.
Yeah.
And truly enjoying your own company.
It's like she's saying, fall in love with yourself first and the rest will follow.
Absolutely. And she gives some really practical tips for doing just that.
Oh, okay.
And one of them is treating yourself with the same kindness and consideration as you would give to a partner. Right. So buying yourself flowers.
Yes.
Taking yourself on dates, showering yourself with love.
And attention.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that you are worthy of those gestures, even if they're coming from you.
Yeah.
And it's about making yourself a priority and celebrating the amazing person that you are.
I love that. It's like this radical act of self-care and empowerment.
It is.
And I think something we could all benefit from.
Absolutely.
No matter what your relationship status is.
Yes. And you're sending a powerful message when you do that.
What kind of message?
You're telling the universe, I'm worthy of love, I'm worthy of happiness, I'm worthy of fulfillment.
Yeah.
And that is going to attract amazing things.
Right. Whether it's a fulfilling career,
Yes.
great friendships, or a loving relationship.
It's aligning yourself with that frequency of abundance and allowing good things to flow.
And sometimes part of that is letting go of old beliefs that aren't serving us.
Yes. And so she talks about the importance of questioning limiting beliefs, especially when it comes to relationships and singlehood.
So like, I'm not complete without a partner, or being single means I'm lonely and undesirable.
Exactly. Those are just stories that we're telling ourselves. And a lot of times, based on societal conditioning, it's not the truth.
So it's about challenging those narratives and creating new ones that are more empowering.
Yeah, and that are aligned with our values.
Right, and choosing to believe in your own worthiness.
Yes.
And your ability to create a happy life on your own terms.
Yes, and sometimes that means getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Ugh. I don't like being uncomfortable.
I know, but it's part of it.
Yeah.
You know, she talks about this as part of the growth process. And she says, difficult feelings are going to arise. They'll come and they'll go. But when you have your mission in mind, when you know you're doing something for the greater good, to look out for yourself, to be there for your future self and your inner child, it will keep you going.
Powerful. It's a reminder that growth rarely happens in our comfort zone.
It doesn't.
Right.
Oh.
It's about leaning into the challenges, knowing that they're leading us to a better version of ourselves.
Yeah.
And she gives us some strategies for navigating those moments.
Yes.
Right? Like having that clear mission in mind, practicing self-compassion,
Yeah.
developing those habit solutions that we talked about.
Yes.
So it's about equipping ourselves with the tools and the mindset to handle all the ups and downs that come with life.
Exactly. In and out of relationships.
I'm really appreciating her holistic approach to singlehood. It's not just about, finding a partner.
No.
It's about creating a life that you love no matter what.
Yes. It's recognizing that singlehood is valuable and a fulfilling stage of life that should be celebrated.
And using this time to really invest in yourself, discover your passions,
Yes.
and build that strong foundation for a happy future, whether that includes a relationship or not.
Absolutely. Beautifully said.
So I think her message is incredibly empowering and inspiring.
It is.
It's a reminder that we really do have the power to create the lives that we want.
Yeah.
And that singlehood can be a beautiful and transformative chapter.
Yes, it can. Yeah, it's so easy to just get caught up in searching for the one that we forget to appreciate.
Yeah.
It's this amazing opportunity that is being single.
Right.
And Kiara really drives this point home.
It's like we've been almost conditioned to think that being single is just a waiting period before the real deal, a relationship comes
Exactly. And that kind of thinking totally undermines the value of this time and the potential.
Yeah. I really like her perspective on it.
Yeah.
It's so refreshing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
she's challenging us to see this time as like a time for growth and exploration
Yes,
and self-discovery.
it is.
Like it's about investing in ourselves and creating a life that's already rich and fulfilling.
Yeah.
Whether or not a relationship even happens.
And she argues that actually that's what sets us up
Okay.
for healthier relationships later on.
Right, because we're not coming from that place of neediness
Yeah, exactly.
or desperation.
You're not looking for someone to complete you
Right.
because you're already complete.
Yeah, that's a powerful shift.
It is a powerful shift in mindset.
So she talks about like finding yourself and learning yourself
Mm-hmm.
during this period. Like,
Right.
what does that actually look like in practice?
So it's about way more than just like, figuring out where your hobbies are
Right.
or where you want to travel to. It's
Mhm.
about going deeper, exploring your values,
Mhm.
your beliefs, your passions, and your purpose.
So it's like really understanding what drives you, what makes you tick,
Yes.
what kind of legacy do you want to leave in the world?
Exactly. Yeah.
And singlehood gives us the time and space to do that.
It does, because you have that freedom.
Yeah.
You have the time. You don't have the commitment, the compromises that come with a relationship.
It's like taking a deep dive into your own inner world
Yes.
and figuring out what makes you you.
And becoming your own best friend, your
Yeah.
own confidant, your own biggest cheerleader.
I love that.
Yeah, she's like, hey, you have this time. Don't waste it
Right, right.
to really get to know yourself.
Yeah, and she stresses that this is not just like beneficial for us personally,
Right.
but it's also crucial for building healthy relationships down the line.
Absolutely. And she says, if you don't find yourself, if you don't fully know who you are, then you will lose yourself once you do get into a relationship. And that relationship won't be healthy.
That's a little scary. I mean, that's...
It's a sobering thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if we don't know who we are, we don't know what we want.
Yeah.
We're more likely to fall into those unhealthy patterns
Right, right.
and lose ourselves.
So establish that strong sense of self
Mm-hmm.
before we even invite someone else in.
Exactly. And that's where that self-love piece comes in.
Okay, so we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
But let's dive in a little bit deeper.
Okay.
What does she mean by prioritizing yourself and doing better for your future?
So she means making choices
Mm-hmm.
that align with your values
Yeah.
and goals. And that could be small.
Okay.
It could be big. So it could be as simple as like choosing a healthy meal over,
Right.
fast food because you know it's going to make you feel better.
Right.
Or it could be something bigger,
Yeah.
like investing in your education, pursuing a different career path,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even finally booking that solo trip.
Right. So it's treating yourself with the same care
Yes.
and consideration that you would give to like someone you really love.
Exactly. And recognizing that you're worthy of it, even if it's coming from you.
And it's not selfish.
No, it's not selfish.
So put yourself first.
And she actually advocates for a healthy dose of selfishness, especially when you're single. She says, right now, all of your time, money, energy, resources are spent on you, so take advantage of it.
I love that. It's like she's giving us permission to be unapologetically ourselves.
Yeah.
And go after what we want.
Yeah, embrace that freedom, that flexibility.
Explore, travel, make memories.
She even says, shamelessly flirt with everyone just because you can.
Right. Who doesn't love a little harmless flirtation?
A little fun.
Yeah, it's part of life.
It is, she says. Everyone needs that.
That phase.
Yeah, where you explore, you have fun.
Right. But it's not all about that, right?
Right, no.
She also talks about the importance of being responsible, building a solid foundation for your future.
Yeah. So that looks like saving money, investing, making sure that you're financially well, creating that stable foundation.
So don't wait for a relationship to, get your life together.
Exactly.
Do it now.
Do it now, and then when you're living that fulfilling life on your own, you're less likely to settle
Right.
for a relationship that's not going to add to it.
So it goes back to her point about relationships enhancing our lives rather than completing them.
Yes.
Which I think is such a key point.
It's a key distinction. It really is, yeah.
It's like you're already whole and complete.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just a bonus.
Yes, a bonus.
Right.
And when you come from that place,
Yeah.
you're more likely to attract a partner
Yeah.
that's also whole and secure.
Yeah. It's creating that partnership of equals.
Absolutely.
I think that's beautiful.
It's a beautiful vision
Yeah.
for a relationship.
And it all starts with really embracing this time,
It does.
being single, and using it to, like, cultivate that self-love and fulfillment.
Yes, yes.
Now, she actually says that people who are always looking for a relationship often end up in, like, the worst ones.
Interesting.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think when you're desperate for a relationship, you might miss some things.
Yeah, like red flags?
Yeah, red flags. Yeah.
No,
You might
because you're just, like, so focused on finding someone.
anyone to
Yeah.
be with.
Yeah.
And you don't see the signs.
Right.
That this might not be the right fit.
Right, and that's why she's like, be content on your own
Yeah.
before even entering a relationship
Yeah. Get to that point where you are so fulfilled
with your life.
with your life,
Yeah.
with your friends, your family, your career, your personal growth.
It's like the relationship becomes the cherry on top.
Yes.
It's not the whole sundae.
It's not the solution to a problem. It's like this
Okay.
beautiful addition
Yeah.
to an already awesome life.
And she says it's about shifting your mindset
Mm-hmm.
from I need a relationship to be happy to I'm happy and a relationship would just be a wonderful bonus.
Yeah, yeah, and
That confidence
is
is so attractive.
magnetic,
Yeah.
and it's something that comes from the self-love, the self-discovery, and genuinely enjoying being with yourself.
It's like she's saying, fall in love with yourself first and everything else will fall into place.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, she gives us some tips for how to do that.
She does.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are some of those tips?
So one of them is to, treat yourself with the same kindness
Mm-hmm.
and consideration that you would give to, like, a romantic partner.
So like buying yourself flowers, taking yourself on dates.
Yeah, showering yourself with that love and affection.
Okay.
Recognizing you're worthy,
Mhm.
even if it's coming from you.
Yeah.
Making yourself a priority and celebrating who you are.
That's awesome. It's like this radical self-care,
It is. It's empowerment.
empowerment. And I think it's something we could all use a little bit more of.
Absolutely. No matter what your relationship status is,
Right.
and you're sending that message to the universe.
What's the message?
When you make yourself a priority, you're saying, I am worthy of love, I am worthy of happiness, I am worthy of fulfillment.
Right. And that's going to bring good things.
It will, whether it's a fulfilling career, whether it's deep friendships,
Yeah.
whether it's a loving partnership.
It's about aligning ourselves with like that frequency of abundance.
Yes, yes.
Just letting good things flow into our lives.
Let it flow.
And sometimes part of that is, letting go of beliefs
Mm-hmm.
that aren't serving us anymore.
Yeah, so she talks about questioning
Mm-hmm.
those limiting beliefs,
Oh, that's
especially
good.
the ones about relationships
Right.
and singlehood.
Yeah. Like I'm not complete without a partner.
Exactly.
Being single means I'm lonely and undesirable.
Those are just stories that
Yeah.
we tell ourselves.
Right.
And so much of it is based on like societal conditioning. It's
Yeah.
not actually the truth.
So it's about challenging those and creating new ones
Mm-hmm.
that feel better and more in line with our values.
That are aligned with what we believe.
Yeah. And choosing to believe in our worthiness
Yes.
and our ability to create a happy life.
on your own terms.
Yes, on our own terms. And that means sometimes getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, I know. It's the hard part.
The worst.
But she talks about it as part of the growth process.
Mm.
And she says, difficult feelings are going to arise. They'll come and they'll go. But when you have your mission in mind, when you know you're doing something for the greater good, to look out for yourself, to be there for your future self and your inner child, it will keep you going.
It's hard to argue with that.
It is. It's powerful.
It is. It's like a reminder that growth rarely happens when we're comfortable.
It doesn't.
Right.
Oh.
It's about leaning into those challenges,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that they're leading us to a better version of ourselves.
A better version of you.
Yeah. And she gives us some tips for how to do that.
She does, yeah.
Like having that clear mission in mind,
Mhm.
practicing self-compassion,
Yeah.
coming up with those habit solutions.
Yes. Habit solutions for everything.
So it's like we're giving ourselves the tools and the mindset
Yeah.
to handle the ups and
It's
downs.
the ups and downs of life.
Yeah. Whether we're in a relationship or not.
In and out of relationships.
I really appreciate her holistic approach
Mm-hmm.
to singlehood.
Yeah.
It's not just about like finding a partner.
No.
It's about creating a life that you love
Yes.
no matter what.
No matter what, and recognizing that being single
Yeah.
is a valuable,
Yeah.
fulfilling time in your life.
And it should be celebrated.
This should be celebrated.
Yes. And it's about using this time to invest in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Discover what you're passionate about.
Yes.
And build a strong foundation for your future,
Yeah.
whether that includes a romantic relationship or not.
Yeah. Beautifully said.
Her message is so empowering.
It is.
It's like, we have the power to create the lives that we want.
We do.
And this can be like such a beautiful and transformative time.
Yes.
She's like giving us this whole new playbook for singlehood. It's like,
Yes.
hey, this isn't the time to be like moping around waiting for a partner.
Yeah.
It's a time to thrive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about taking all that energy that we normally, put into like seeking a relationship.
Right.
And redirecting it.
And worse.
Inward, yeah. Towards, self-discovery, self-love, creating a life that really lights us up.
So it's about shifting from that like scarcity mindset. I need a partner to be whole.
Yeah.
To like, I'm already whole
Yeah.
and I've got so much to offer.
And that's key, that mindset shift.
Yeah.
Because when we approach it from that place of wholeness and self-love,
Yeah.
we attract healthier relationships.
Right.
Because we're not coming from that place of neediness.
Right.
Desperation.
We're coming from a place of strength.
Yeah. Confidence, self-awareness.
We know what we want. We know our worth.
And we don't settle.
We don't settle.
For less.
Yeah. And that's why she talks about setting standards
Yes, absolutely.
and not compromising on your values.
Even when you're dating.
Even when you're dating. Yeah. And it's not about being like super picky
No.
or having these unrealistic expectations.
It's knowing what you want
Yeah.
and not settling for someone who doesn't align with your values.
Yeah. It's about knowing that you deserve to be treated with respect,
Absolutely.
kindness, and love.
And trust.
Yeah.
Trust that the right person will come along.
Yeah.
When it's meant to be.
When it's meant to be.
Yeah.
Her message is so empowering.
It is. Yeah.
It's like, we have the power
We do.
to create the life that we want.
We do.
And this period, this time of being single can be like such a beautiful and transformative
Cute chapter.
in our journey.
It's about taking ownership of our happiness and not waiting for someone else to give it to us.
Right.
It's realizing that
Yeah.
true fulfillment comes from within.
And sometimes that means getting comfortable with being uncomfortable,
Ugh,
which I know is not fun.
It's not. She
Well-
talks about how growth doesn't happen
In our comfort zone.
in our comfort zone.
Right. She's like, embrace the challenges
Yeah.
because they're leading you to a better version of yourself.
Exactly.
And she gives us all these strategies
she does.
for dealing with those like uncomfortable moments.
Like having a mission,
Yeah, a mission.
that self-compassion,
Mhm.
and those habit solutions that we talked about.
So many good tools
Yes.
to deal with the ups and downs.
The ups and downs of life.
Of life, yeah, whether we're single or not.
Yeah, doesn't matter. In and out of relationships.
Her approach is just so refreshing and inspiring.
It is, yeah.
It's not about waiting for the one.
Mm-hmm.
It's about becoming the one.
For yourself.
Yeah.
It's about investing in yourself,
Yeah.
discovering what lights you up,
Mhm.
creating a life that you absolutely love.
And then, if a relationship happens,
It's a bonus.
it's a bonus.
It's adding to.
It's the cherry on top.
It's the cherry on top.
So as we wrap up our deep dive
Mm-hmm.
into Tam Kaur's wisdom on how to be happy single,
Yes.
I just want to leave everyone with this thought.
Go ahead.
What's one tiny step,
Mm-hmm.
tiny,
Yeah.
that you can take today
Today.
to start enjoying your single life more?
Ooh, I love that.
It could be anything.
Anything.
It could be buying yourself flowers,
Mm-hmm.
taking a long bath,
Mm-hmm.
dancing around your living room,
Yeah.
saying no to something you don't want to do.
Yeah, the point is to start small.
Start small.
Be consistent.
Yeah.
And celebrate every win.
Because you're worthy of happiness.
You are.
No matter what.
No matter what.
So we hope this deep dive has given you some new perspectives
Mm-hmm.
and inspired you to embrace singlehood as the gift that it is.
Until next time, happy diving.